Alright my dudes, welcome back to my channel. This is Randy, aka Fragrance Dude, back with another fragrance video and a full review slash first impression of Mancera CEDRAT Boise, and this is the OG, not the Intense released in 2022. I will get to that eventually. I'm just now delving into the niche community. I am trying to get the base, so I want to get the original CEDRAT Boise out of the way first before I test out the Intense, if that makes sense, because I want to know what I'm comparing it to, what it's supposed to smell like, blah, blah, blah. And so with that said, the only niche fragrances I've really tried so far, since there are none really in my area, are the ones that I've purchased online, ones that I made a trip out to Nordstrom, or the ones that Camzat sent me. So thank you, Camzat. And before I get into this video, like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell for future notifications. So this fragrance is advertised as a woody, fruity, citrus, aromatic, unisex fragrance. And it really is leaning a bit more masculine, although I can see it being unisex. And so with all of that said, I do want to let you guys know, a lot of people compare this to Aventus, like a lot of other fragrances out there, Mont Blanc Explorer, Hacivat, Elysium. And I do have to say, it is not in the comparison realm of all of those other fragrances. It's not even inspired by, it doesn't have the birch, doesn't have the pineapple. It does go its own route. So while it is in the same type of fragrance that Aventus is, I wouldn't consider this an Aventus inspired by or clone or anything like that. While I can see what you're talking about, I would just not put it in that ballpark. So I'll give you the note breakdown for this first. The top notes are lemon, black currant, bergamot, and spices. The mid notes are fruity notes, patchouli, and water jasmine. And the base notes are cedar, leather, sandalwood, vanilla, white musk, and moss. So before I get into fully reviewing this fragrance, I do want to get back to the comparisons. And so I just did a video, as you guys know, of Nishane Hacivat. And I also have a video coming out after this one, where I did a first impression of Roja of Elysium. And I have to say, if you took the best parts of both of those fragrances and mixed them together, that's where you get similar comparisons to CEDRAT Boise. And honestly, for the price, I'm going to tell you guys, this is great. So with this fragrance, whenever you first spray it on, again, I'll spray it on and do this as my scent of the day. So good. I cannot wait. I mean, and I know I'm going down to work after this, and people are going to give me compliments for this. Even though I don't think compliments are a thing, there are people that sit right around me that I know they'll ask me what I'm wearing. So in the opening, you get a sweet and tart lemon. And then you get that mixed with this beautiful fruity black currant note, which has a bit of this green fruitiness to it. It's really nice. And then you get a little bit of this muddled fruity notes. It says fruity notes, but more it's just red fruits like a raspberry or something. And those don't last long, so I wouldn't really pay attention to them. So then you also get in the background a mossiness very similar to that of Nishane Hacivat, except for it is a lot more dialed down and it's more of a background note, which is the way that I explained how I would like Hacivat to be, is to not focus on the moss and have it be more of a background note. It does it well here with that moss. And then you also get a background note of vanilla. The weird thing about this fragrance, but it's not a bad weird, is that the opening doesn't really change for about an hour. At least on my skin, for about an hour, hour and a half. You get that same fruity, citruses, tart, mixed with that vanilla, that moss, and a bit of those muddled fruits. And really that's what you get until that hour and a half mark. And in that first hour and a half, I gotta say, this is going to project and be almost a room filler. But I'll get to performance in a second. So if you wanted to explain the dry down the best, you still get that fruity sweetness in there, almost an ambery ambroxan feeling to it. Then you get these woody aromatic notes, some moss and vanilla in the middle, and then you also get a little bit of this leather in the background. It's a really nice fragrance, but again, you're not going to notice too much of a change in this fragrance until about an hour and a half, at least on my skin. I don't know how it is on anybody else's skin. But as far as performance, this fragrance is a shocker to me, because in these type of fragrances, you usually don't get this level of projection. I get about 9 to 10 hours easy, and then that's just on the lower end. And then you also, again, for the first hour and a half, before you hit that dry down, it's filling up the room. I mean, almost filling up the room. Not as heavy as like a Spice Bomb Infrared or something like that, but it's close. And then when you get to that dry down, that's really where it changes to more of just a above average projector, where it's about double arm's length, and it stays there for about 4 hours. And then after that, it dies down to almost a skin scent, but at that point in time, you're around hour 5 or 6, and it doesn't really matter at that point in time. This fragrance is just really nice. It's going to get you noticed. It's going to get you compliments. And honestly, of every one of the fragrances that I mentioned, my wife always said she liked them until she smelled Elysium and this Cedrat Boise. She never went wow about these type of fragrances. She always likes the heavier winter and fall type fragrances like I do. But with this one, she said, wow, that's my favorite fragrance that you own so far. Even though I don't own it yet, technically, I am buying it. And then she smelled Elysium and she said, wait, that's my favorite. No, Cedrat Boise is my favorite. No, Elysium's my favorite. And then I told her the price. $90, $400 for Elysium. I mean, I guess you can get it on discounters for probably $300, but 90 versus 300. And she goes, no brainer, Cedrat Boise. And I agree. I love Elysium, but Cedrat Boise is in this realm is just so nice. So again, just to do a quick explanation of the fragrance, sweet and tart lemon mixed with a nice green, fruity black currant. And then you have a muddled fruits with vanilla and a bit of this mossy note. And that's all in the opening for about the first hour and a half. Once you get to the dry down, citruses are gone, fruits are dyed back, and you're left with this woody aromatic vanilla with a backdrop of moss and leather and a bit of musk. That is really what you get in this fragrance, and it is beautiful. This, I've never really talked about one. I've honestly never been over the moon about these type of fragrances. I've always thought they were above average, like Mont Blanc Explorer, above average. I wouldn't consider it fantastic. Aventus, even, it's above average. I like it. My wife doesn't love it. It's always been one that guys like more, not girls. But this one, I have to tell you, I'm going to work after this, as you guys can tell, and I'm going to probably have people that are sitting around me asking me what I'm wearing. And I know that because this is just that good. So Cedrat Boise, I'm going to get to the Intense soon. I'm probably going to wait till the price to drop a bit, but I am really excited about that. I am going to be buying a full bottle. Again, on Joma Shop right now, it's about $90. Advertises unisex, so women and men could technically wear it, although I see it more as a unisex opening, and when you get to the dry down, it's more masculine. So it's a really nice fragrance and one that you guys definitely need to try out. Really excited that I got sent this by Camzad, or I probably wouldn't have tried it for quite a while. But now I'm going to buy it this year. It's on the top of my list, and I'm really excited that I got it. Let me know if you guys have tried it, what you think about it, how interested you are of me trying the new Intense. If you've tried the Intense, is it different than this one? Any other questions that you guys have for me? Also, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back with another one. Peace!